Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jake here from CWC Technologies, and I've compiled a list of the top 3 actually free-to-play FPS games on mobile. Let's go ahead and get right into it. There are a lot of free games that you can actually download on your device and play. However, not all of them are free to play. This is especially annoying to somebody who's been playing mobile games for years like myself. It used to be you paid a small fee of $6, $7, maybe $10 to get into the game, and after you got there, you could play the game. Yeah, there might be a couple in-app purchases depending on the game, but nothing that would drastically change the way the game was. You might have to grind 10 extra minutes and somebody else had spent $2, but nothing really changed the way the game was or gave anybody an unfair advantage. But in today's world, if you're downloading a free game, you better get your wallet out because you're most likely going to need to spend a decent amount of money if you're going to want to compete against people in the game at a decently high level. So because of that annoyance I've compiled a list of the top 3 actually free-to-play FPS games on mobile, and in no particular order, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Quick disclaimer before we hop into the list, actually free-to-play does not mean there aren't in-app purchases in these games. What it does mean though is that there's no in-app purchases that affect the player's skill. So I can't spend $10 and get a better weapon or better perks than you do, and that way I beat you in game. What this does mean though is there are some in-app purchases that will allow you to customize your character or your weapon or something of that nature, or calling card, but nothing that will negatively affect the gameplay experience because he has a better weapon or a better perk than you do. Anyways, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the list. Bullet Force is a fast-paced Call of Duty / Battlefield style game that has multiple different maps, game modes, and a wide selection of weapons and new guns being added regularly. It is the typical FPS game modes like Team Deathmatch, Free-for-All, Conquest, and Gun Game, but what makes BF really unique compared to the other FPS games on mobile is the Hardcore mode and the heavily customizable lobbies. Hardcore mode is basically TDM, but there's no health regeneration, and it takes away perks and kill streaks. Now my favorite thing about Bullet Force is the heavily customizable lobbies. When creating a custom match inside of Bullet Force, you have the ability to ban certain primary weapons and secondary weapons, as well as throwables. So if you really want to do a sniper only lobby, you can actually do that. Bullet Force also has an offline practice mode where you can set up a new HUD, practice those quick scopes, or kill a few minutes if you don't have an internet connection. The game is a lot of fun and has a very active developer team that really pays attention to the community that plays their games. As mentioned earlier, each game does have its own way of making money. Bullet Force does have a few different ways, but none of these give an unfair advantage to you, the player. You can spend money to get skins for your weapons or in-game character. When a new weapon is added to Bullet Force, it is available for purchase in the shop with the gold currency. That is the premium currency in-game. However, after a period of time, that gun will become available to buy with credits, which can be earned from playing a match of Bullet Force. None of these give the player an unfair advantage at all. Really, it's just a way to give back to the amazing individuals that put a lot of time into this game. There's something about defuse the bomb game types that we gamers must really enjoy. Critical Ops is the first out of 2 of those game types on this list. Critical Ops does include more than just bomb defuse though. TDM and gun game are included as well as custom matches, but what's really at its core is defuse. Whether it's a custom defuse game with your friends or a ranked one, the entire game has been built around the defuse game mode. From maps to weapons and tacticals, you can spend hours practicing new strats, learning new grenade spots, and perfecting your one-tapping. What's really cool about Critical Ops though is that it's the only game on this list that is optimized for the 120Hz refresh rate that is on the newer iPad Pros and smartphones like the Razer phone. It is an absolute pleasure to play at 120Hz. Everything is incredibly smooth, and I can't do justice showing it here on YouTube. I can only do up to 60Hz here on a YouTube video. You have to try it for yourself. Playing on my iPad Pro 10.5 inch with Critical Ops, it is like moving your hands through water. It is so incredibly smooth. It is just an absolute treat to play at 120Hz. You gotta check it out. If you got the ability to, you will not be disappointed. One of the most recent additions to Critical Ops is different factions called Coalition and the Breach. Basically the typical counter-terrorists and terroricides, but changing it up a bit with new color schemes and names. The Critical Pass is new too. It's been around a little while, but basically it's like Fortnite's Battle Pass. You complete challenges to unlock in-game rewards that are purely cosmetic. The Battle Pass is one of Critical Ops' in-app purchases along with in-game currency that allows you to purchase cases containing skins for your weapon. Once again, all these are cosmetic and does not affect the skill of you, the player. Fort Assault, developed by Blaze Games, is the second game on this list with a twist on the popular bomb defuse genre. Game modes include Team Deathmatch, Gun Game, Infected, and of course Defuse. Infected is really cool. There are two different teams. One team consists of one player that is infected, and the other team consists of all the healthy players. The infected player runs around trying to knife the healthy players. Until he knifes one, then that player becomes infected, and so on and so forth until all the healthy players have been infected. However, there is a time limit, and if the healthy players are able to outlast the time limit, the healthy will win. It is a very difficult game mode and a lot of fun to play. Gameplay is smooth, graphics are great, and what really sets this game's maps apart are the sound effects the maps have. Playing on the map Frosty, you can hear the wind blowing across the ocean and hitting the walls of the buildings. It is really cool. It's a small thing, but one that makes the game just so much more enjoyable. There are a lot of highly detailed weapons to choose from, and I mean a lot. One of the most recent weapons added is the highly anticipated AWP, and that right now is my favorite weapon to use. The no-scope potential on this weapon is amazing. Firing from the hip, the accuracy is insane. An offline practice mode is included in typical Blaze games fashion, which will allow you to hop into one of your favorite maps and practice your recoil control against some bots. There's also a clan system where you and your friends can unify under one tag and be easily identified. The in-app purchases in Forward Assault are slightly different than other games. Your primary weapons, secondary weapons, melee weapons, and gloves can all be equipped with different skins. You can earn these skins by playing matches and opening crates. You can also purchase gold, Forward Assault's in-game currency, and buy cases that contain these skins. If you do get duplicate skins, you can trade those in for currency and also buy skins directly from the shop. In order to create a clan, it costs $7.99. You can join one that has already been created for free, but once again, if you'd like to create one, you will have to spend $7.99. As stated earlier, all of these in-app purchases do not affect the skill of you, the player, or your opponents. They give you a way to customize your favorite weapons and give back to the amazing dev teams that work hard to bring us these amazing games and to bring consistent updates to them. Alright guys, with all that being said, those are my top 3 actually free-to-play FPS games on mobile. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever heard of any of these games, or if you haven't. Also, what is your favorite free-to-play game, actually free-to-play game on mobile? It doesn't have to be a FPS, could be a MOBA, could be a card game, whatever it may be. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Guys, with all that being said, this is Jake here from CWC Technologies, signing out. I'll see you guys somewhere soon on the internet. Peace, guys.